liberal, irreverent, oh, and really, really gay.
Hey, welcome to the show. It's Off Limits. Thanks for listening to the show. It's Tuesday, January 6th. I'm coming at you for the fourth show of the year. I'm calling the show Looking. It's going to be a very short one, just a quip, basically, because I don't have much to say, because it's hard to come up with something new to say every fucking day. But this is an experiment I'm trying out, one show a day for a year, so trying to see how this goes, if I can actually do it and pull it off. We'll see if I do or not. It'll be interesting to see if I, by the end of the year, have 365 days shows. Obviously, I'll have to do 2 shows at once or something, because I missed 2 days. But anyway, before I started, I want to say thanks for listening to the show, coming to Off Limits, and this is where I talk about gay stuff. I talk about gay stuff, rather. Rarely have guests anymore. I used to have guests on the show all the time and talk to people, and I prefer that. But, it's hard to find people that you don't know to talk to. I don't really want to have people that I know in my real life, so to speak, on here talking about stuff, because we talk all the time. I want to talk to people from different walks of life. So if you're interested in talking to me about your life, whether you're gay or lesbian or straight or transgendered or bisexual or you're anything else, whatever you may be, I'd love to talk to you about your life, and because I think everybody has their own perspective and their own story. And so I'm always intrigued by other people's lives. So if you would like to come on the show and talk to me for an hour or so about whatever, just shoot the breeze. Feel free to email me at info@offlimitsshow.com. You don't have to be a professional broadcaster like I'm not, because I'm not, and you don't have to be have a show of your own. You can just be a lay person and just somebody who likes to talk about stuff. Somebody who can't shut up. That's always the best. So feel free to call me or message me, and we can set that up if you're interested in just having a conversation with me sometime about whatever. But in the interim, I was trying to think of things to talk about on this show tonight, and I couldn't think of anything really, but I do want to see that show Looking is coming back. I talked about the show last season on the air, and I like the show, and some of the criticism about the show has been it's boring and it doesn't have enough sex. And the problem I have with that is people are comparing it to Queer as Folk, which was a glittering and hypersexual representation of gay life, and I think an honest one as well. But I think everyone's life is not the same as the characters in Queer as Folk. Some people's lives are quiet, and and most people's lives are quieter, and just they just go about their days and trying to find love and meaning in life and make it through the day in their profession or whatever. And that's what Looking's about. It's about a guy who happens to be gay. It's not all about him being gay. It's about somebody who happens to be gay and trying to find love. And I think that's important to have a show like that, equally as important as having one that was breaking through the barriers that Queer as Folk broke through with its over-sexual or very explicit sex scenes and true kind of gritty look at gay life, or one group of people's gay life. So I don't think you have to really be. We're not all the same, and as I talked about that on the show yesterday, we're all different. So you've got to actually respect the differences in the community, and that goes for TV shows as well, as Looking, for example. And I don't find Looking boring. I enjoy it, and it explores more about the before and after of sex, and also the more interesting aspects of life, in my opinion. Not that sex isn't fun to watch and stuff on TV, but it's just that it's not everything. And so, but they've kind of caved in and said this season is going to be much more sexual and much more gritty or whatever. They've caved into the pressure of people, all the gay people saying, oh, it should be this or it should be that. Which I think the writers should decide and determine what it should and shouldn't be. It shouldn't be up to the public, because it's the writer's vision. Of course, it's also a business, and so the people who are producing the show, HBO or whatever, want to have numbers, and they want to listen to the public so they can get their numbers and make people happy. And so I don't like that. And at the time, how I am in my entire life, I don't like to be told what I should or shouldn't do. I just do what I want to do. And I think everyone should live their life that way. Why life's too short, really, to just do anything that you don't want to do. So why do it? Obviously we all have to do things we don't want to do occasionally. And, I'm talking about things that you have the choice in. Obviously you have to work to make a living to support yourself if you are not independently wealthy or inherit, an heir or an heiress or something. And you have to, follow the rules to some degree without getting caught anyway. Otherwise, you go to prison and things like that. But technically, you don't have to do those things. And I'm saying that it's in your best interest to do it. So anyway, the show's been good. I like it a lot. I think it's got a lot of promise, and I'm glad they're bringing it back for at least a second season. We'll see if it lasts beyond that. But who the hell knows? And I got a Fitbit for Christmas. I don't know if I told you that. It was one of the things I got for my Christmas gifts because I wanted to keep track of my how many steps I did a day. Because I read this article that said that people who sit all day, like I do for a living, I do a lot of architecture. I mean, I do at my desk. All the architecture I do is on my computer. And, I don't get up to do that. I'm sitting there for hours on end all day drafting stuff or designing or whatever. And then I go out occasionally, a few days a week to actually meet with clients and or at the site or whatever. So I rarely sit up. And then when I'm not working, I'm at the computer or I'm in front of the TV or something like that, except for when I'm working out. So it's not like I get a lot of enough. Apparently, you need to walk at least like 10,000 steps a day. 12,000 to 15,000 is better for weight loss if you're looking to lose weight or something. But you need at least 10,000 steps. So I was curious how many steps I was taking a day. So I put this Fitbit on and realized that I was walking like 1,000 steps a day. That was it. That's really bad. So today or yesterday, I started walking more and also continuing to do P90X and that kind of stuff too. But yeah, trying to amend that program, and so I get enough walking in as well. And I walked a mile with a friend today. That was it because he couldn't walk further than that. But he's a little overweight. But I also I wanted to walk like 5 miles because that would have been like 10,000 steps or 15,000 steps or something. But he'll get better as the time goes on. He just needs time to get used to it and move forward with it. But and when you start any kind of program for people who don't ever exercise, it's always difficult. But I'm proud of him for at least trying and starting. That's good. It's just a matter of consistency. So I'm kind of helping him stay accountable to himself by helping him walk and stuff every day. So he's nearby, so it's easy. Anyway, so anyway, my Fitbit I got is great. I got the Fitbit Charge, is the one I was gifted, and it's keeps track of your steps, the number of flights you climb, the calories you consume, and also your sleep patterns and how much sleep you get. And it also has a watch on it. It has a watch or whatever. And it's pretty cool, and it automatically syncs with your iPhone. You don't have to charge it, or you don't have to sync it. Ever. You just wear it. And I wear mine on my dominant hand, which is I'm right-handed, so I wear it on my right hand because I wear a watch on my left hand anyway. And then I noticed a few days ago that it was making my wrist itch like really bad. And it started getting this like red spot on my wrist. I was like, what the fuck? And so I looked it up, and apparently it's like a huge deal where a lot of people with Fitbits have had this rash issue. And there's pictures, these disgusting rashes. Mine were nothing like those, but they were like really red, and some were like the skin was like bore out of their arm. It was disgusting. It was so bad. But apparently there's something about the nickel or something in the Fitbit that some people are apparently allergic to, and I guess I'm one of them. I guess I'm allergic to nickel against my skin all the time. But they redesigned them to, combat that issue. But unfortunately, they still have the same issue. And so anyway, my point is, if you get a Fitbit, be careful because you may be having an allergy to the rubber or to the nickel and the wristband. But I took it off and I put on this flavonoxazide thing that my dermatologist gave me a year ago for something. I can't remember what, and it's still good. So, and I read that's what you're supposed to put on it. So it made it go away. It's fine now. But I wore it today again and I'm fine. But as long as if I sleep in it every day, it seems to make me itch. So I'm trying not to sleep in it. But the cool thing is it does like measure your sleep patterns, so you can kind of tell, if you're getting enough sleep. It shows you if you're sleeping enough, when you're waking up, how many times you're waking up, and it shows you when you're awake and when you're sleeping, and your sleep pattern, how many hours and minutes you got of sleep. And so I know exactly how many hours of sleep I got every night. So, and they say sleep deprivation can definitely kill you. So if you don't get enough sleep every night, somebody who maybe subsists on 5 hours a day or 4 hours a day, and there are a lot of people out there who do, you might want to be careful because it really does. It can really cause you to like die, literally. Just like the thing I said about never walking or whatever can make you die too. That's the thing I didn't mention, I think, is that the study I read about it is the people who sit at their desks all day, or majority of the time sit down all the time, have a much like 50 or 100 times higher chance of dying of a heart attack or something than people who don't. So they say to combat that, you can get like a standing desk, or I don't know if you've seen those standing desks. They're pretty cool. You can get a standing desk and, you can work at it. But for me, it's difficult because I have to spread out my shit, and it's really difficult for me to do that. And I have to get another computer to put on the standing desk. It'd be just a big old fucking hassle. But if I had a way to use my existing desk and raise it up and then stand at it all day, I guess I would do that. And you can also, on these standing desks, they have like treadmills built in where you walk like half a mile an hour or a mile an hour real slow, or 2 miles an hour or whatever. And it's supposed to keep you fit. And they say, some people say it works, some people say it doesn't. But not even regarding the fit part of it, just looking at the health part of it, the fact that it helps you not die because you're not sitting down all the time is a good part. So anyway, you might want to check that out if you have the same issue I do as sitting down all the fucking day. And they say even if you work out, it's not enough. You have to actually stand up more and not sit down. Like 20% of your day should be sitting and the 80% should be standing or running or walking or whatever. And the reality is we do not do that as human beings these days. I mean, that's just not the society we live in anymore, where we walk 80% of our day. I mean, what the fuck? Who walks 80% of their day unless they're like a fucking mailman or something? I mean, it's just stupid. So it's really unlikely anybody's ever going to actually do these things, but I guess it's good information to know. So, what the fuck ever. What else do I want to talk about before I go on the show tonight? I'm reading these internet memes. I'm guilty of giving people more chances than they deserve, but when I'm done, I'm done. That's DJ Keza Wilkinson posted that on his page. Good quote. I feel the same way. I mean, I'm the same way because people, the problem with me is that I'm nice and people try to take advantage of me and try to, and they do. And I give people the benefit of the doubt because I think because I'm a good person and a nice person that everybody else is. But really the reality is most people are fucking assholes. So for me, and I've always said this too, I have a really long fuse and a big bomb at the end. So, it's like, as this meme says, I'm guilty of giving people more chances than they deserve. But when I'm done, I'm done. That's how I am. When I'm done, I'm done. It's just like a done. I'm like, no, thank you. You just need to not exist anymore. I don't need to know you anymore, whatever. Hey, JP, how are you doing? How's it going in there? Thanks for visiting the show tonight. Hope you're doing okay there in New York. You're in New York, right, Jaded City? I think you said you were in New York. Or I think I remember listening on your show. I can't remember where you guys are. I think you're in New York City. But anyway, morning to you as well there, wherever you may be. I'm just struggling to do. It's been really hard to do this show every day. The funny thing is when I first did my show, Brooklyn, bitch. Okay, sorry, Brooklyn. Pardon me for my faux pas. They're from Brooklyn. He's from Brooklyn, not New York, not Manhattan. He's from Brooklyn. That's cool, Brooklyn. So, but what I was saying is when I first started my show 5 years ago, I actually did a show every day, almost every day, like at least 5 times a week, and sometimes 6 and sometimes 7 days a week. And I can't believe I did that. And I would do full real shows I had prepared for, shows I had researched for, topics and things, and I'd have guests on it. I'd have people talking about it. And it was very, it was a very well-produced show in the beginning, and I actually took a lot of pride and time with it. But as the years went on, I just got tired of it and got bored doing it. I was like, got lazy.